Hello everybody and welcome, I am PACO GARCÍA. Today I want to cook something for you that I have cooked for my friends and it tastes absolutely delicious. It is a potato and sausage casserole. You can't go wrong with that, come on. And it's insanely simple and tasty, and I was thinking, well, what game will it actually go with? And I immediately thought Perdition's Mouth Abyssal Rift. And I thought, you know, this recipe and this game have absolutely nothing to do with each other. And I thought, okay, I don't care, because I love that casserole and I love Perdition's Mouth Abyssal Rift. It's an absolutely fantastic game, it really is. But I'm going to tell you about it in a little bit. Before that though, let me show you exactly how to impress your friends with this simple and delightfully tasty dish. Welcome to Dice and Slice. As I was saying at the beginning, we are going to cook this absolutely delicious dish, which is extremely simple. So just sit back and relax while I tell you exactly how to put this dish together. To 15 minutes until the sausages have been cooked through and the potatoes are nice, soft and tender. And whilst that's simmering away, let me tell you about today's game. While that's simmering away, I am going to tell you everything that you need to know about Perdition's Mouth to fall in love with this game, which is absolutely fantastic. Perdition's Mouth is basically a dungeon crawler that will appeal to an awful lot of Eurogamers because it has a really important and heavy strategy component to the game. Designed by Timo Multamaki, Thomas Klausner and Kevin Wilson, those really fantastic talents got together to design this 1 to 6 players dungeon crawler that should play between 1 and 2 hours, but I have to say it depends an awful lot on how many people you have around and how well you know the game, but 2 hours is a fairly conservative estimate. Now, one thing about this game, which as you can see I have kept in the original packing because I don't want this to go off, it's absolutely gorgeous. It really is gorgeous. It weighs like half a ton, but 6 kilos. So it is very heavy, and yes, it has some. I keep this purse. Shoot me. Right, let's take a look. The rules are simpler than they actually feel when you are reading them in the book, which is very well laid out and it's absolutely beautiful. It has everything you know. And funnily enough, this is one of the books that I consider very well structured to teach you how to play the game quite efficiently. So from the instructional point of view, yes, this reads really, really nicely. You will need to refer to it from time to time because there are a fair amount of rules. This is not a simple game by any means, even though the basics are actually very innovative and not difficult at all to get to grips with. But you will need, because there are an awful lot of exceptions to those rules, you will need to refer to the book from time to time. But as you can see, it's being really well laid out, and it has 34 pages of rules and then some gameplay samples, which is brilliant. Very, very good indeed. Dare I say, the game comes with an awful lot of minis, and the number of expansions for this game is just insane. I mean, these are just 2 of them that came with the game. I got it, and I like them quite a lot. From the production point of view, they've really spared no pennies in making some insanely beautiful minis, and there are an awful lot of them as well, I can tell you, like these cultists, for instance, these little minions as well, that you can see here, and some, let me get out some of the monsters because they are so very cool indeed. My leaf, which is a big body, and is quite strong. It's very hard to kill, very hard to kill, but they are absolutely gorgeous minis. There are a ton of them, by the way, like a lot of them. Now, what makes this game really interesting? Firstly, I need both hands. These are the scenario sheets, okay? They come in a box because there are that many. Yes, every single one of these is one scenario. So you're not gonna get bored at all with this game for an insanely long time. It's a really long time. And then you get your characters. Now the characters are very interesting because they can actually level up. And let me tell you a little bit how they play. You get the type of character it is, and you get 4 different attributes plus the life that you get. So these are the number of actions, this is how far it can go, this is how many hit points they have, these are the damage that they do, extra damage when they fight, and this is their defense value. And they also have a special action that is unique to each character. Depending on the character class, they can be harder or weaker in some things or another, and they can carry more or less items. So they don't all play the same at all, and they offer different feel, different experiences when you're playing the game. So you get a lot of bang for your buck when you buy Perdition's Mouth. Then we get the boards. The boards are actually double-sided, really beautiful, and really big. It's really big. Everything is, by the way, yes, they don't lay completely flat, which is a bummer and is the one thing about this game I resent. But that's the only thing. You get plenty of maps and dungeons to explore with different terrains, different structures, and even different ways to set up each one of these adventures. Why? Because it adds an awful lot more gameplay to the whole thing. With every single board being double-sided, you get as well very different atmospheres to the game. So, and there are like half a ton. This is possibly the thing that weighs the most in the game. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and if I can get my fingers, my fat little fingers, and 6. Double-sided, that is 12 maps. That's actually quite a nice lot. Now what I want to show you, which is the last thing, I'm gonna get rid of this, and this is seriously heavy, I'm not kidding. Let me... Right, this game has 2 wheels, and this is where you're going to, how you're going to control what your characters do and what your enemies do, because, well, this is a fully cooperative game, I forgot to tell you. So the way that the enemies work is with a little bit of a countdown. There's going to be a bead, and every round you're going to draw a card. That card is going to determine what happens and whether the minions or the whatevers are going to move, they're going to attack, if they're going to spawn, that's really bad news, or if that's it, and how many when they spawn, if they're going to be 2, 3, 4, 5, blah blah blah, until you are dead in the game. I like this quite a lot. The designers have taken it one step further by creating another wheel, as a stone, that tells you what your characters can do. Every character can move up to a number of steps, which means that they can move from move to special, to attack, to sprint, to defend, to charge, to rest. And that means that, for instance, defend, you're going to be able every single round. You have to move, and you have to move from one segment to the next or to another one. And that means that you have to very carefully decide what ability you want your character to use, because if you don't rest often enough, then your character is going to die, because there are very, very few chances of recovery. But then only one player can be resting at any given time. So if somebody needs it, you have to get out in order to be able to rest, so on and so forth. This alone makes this game worth it, as far as I'm concerned, because it's such a unique way of determining who does what and when. This is not like, for instance, Mansions of Madness, in which every character has 3 actions and they can use it as they see fit. This is not the case at all here. You have to decide where you're going to land, if you can land, and if you cannot land there and one of your colleagues needs to get out of it, then they need to decide where they're going to go. So there's a lot of thinking with this game. Personally, I absolutely love it, and seriously, if you are an Eurogamer and you're skeptical about dungeon crawlers, this is the game for you, and you should have a go. It is seriously thinky for a dungeon crawler. So take a look. Very, very well worth it. Once you've learned how to play the game, it really is very streamlined, and you will spend a lot longer thinking where you're going to go on the board and how and where you're going to go on the wheel than reading the rules. It takes about maybe a couple of games, perhaps 3, to get to grips with the rules properly. But other than that, between the beautiful production values, the great mechanics, and the absolutely gorgeous maps, and the sheer amount of missions that you get, you just cannot go wrong with this. But it is time for me to shut up, because I can smell something delicious, and I better show you the results of our cooking. I'll be right back. And now that we have cooked this for a few minutes, bubbling away quite widely, I have to say, and we've stirred it several times, you may notice that those sausages don't look all that colorful. That's because of the type of sausages they are. They are indeed cooked through, I can assure you, but maybe you want to brown them a little bit more if you prefer something a little bit with more depth of color. Because yes, I know that this dish is very beige. Not my fault. So, how are we going to serve this? We're going to get 3 sausages per person, and we're going to use a ladle because it's still an awful lot of soup. And let me turn that off. So, three sausages per human, and then as much of this as you could possibly ever want to eat, which I can tell you because I have tried to check if it needed any more salt, is going to be quite a lot. My friends, after this, your winter evenings are going to be tastier and warmer, because that is perfect winter food. Thank you very much indeed for joining us today. I am very much looking forward to seeing what you cook. So get this done and send me your photographs and send me your sausages in here, because that would be absolutely lovely to see. I very much look forward to doing that. Do spread the show, share it, tell everyone how much I have enjoyed this, and so have you. Remember to subscribe if you haven't done so yet, and leave me your comments down there. Really looking forward to talking to you very, very soon. Take care.